For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
A knighthood has been conferred on someone. Is he deserving of that honor? A tale of 2 cities and 5 homicides in less than a week. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show, NewsSpin, on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. My name is Timothy Poleon. We go up until 2 o'clock this afternoon. I'll be inviting you to be a part of the conversation in just a moment at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026, and Amanda will be going through some of your comments in the chat room. We hope you're having yourself an enjoyable Tuesday and you're immersing yourself in all that is happening within St. Lucia and indeed the rest of the world, because you have to keep in touch with what is happening around you, and it is on that basis that you'll be making the right decisions. And that is why we clamor ever so often for the government to provide us with information on a timely basis. We want to know what are the plans to deal with the worsening crime problem in St. Lucia. We want to know what's in it for the island when we have the president of Nigeria visiting on our shores, and we have to be inconvenienced. What's in it for the people of this country? A Tale of Two Cities. That is a historical novel published in 1859 by English author Charles Dickens on the French Revolution. And the opening line of that novel, The Tale of Two Cities, is, "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times." And this phrase encapsulates the duality of the era, with the revolution bringing both hope for a better future and immense suffering and violence. Isn't that what we're experiencing right now in St. Lucia? As much as the authorities would want to believe that St. Lucia is one of the most favored destinations by heads of state, and economic growth has hit the roof. Unemployment is at its lowest on the island. And let's bask in those things, those official ceremonies that we are exposed to, many of us, via social media. We have to watch it on television, and people are rubbing shoulders and hobnobbing and having a great time. That is the impression that is being given to us at this point in time. And people play with statistics. Lies, dumb lies, and statistics. You can recall, it was just a few days ago that certain individuals were telling you that crime is on the decline. And those people are mouthpieces, either for the government or for various government institutions, ought to be very careful when they are communicating to the audience and the people of this country. Because I think sometimes there's a deliberate effort to paint a kind of picture that does not exist. If you just lost your 18-year-old son, who just graduated from a secondary school on Thursday of last week, never mind, the statistics would indicate that his fatal shooting, which has resulted in the number of homicides reaching a particular figure, and those people who want to mislead you are comparing the number of people who have been killed during a particular period in this year up to the time that you lost your son compared to the same period last year, and tell you that crime is on the decline. As a mother, as a father, as a son, as a brother, as a friend, does it matter to you? You have lost your son, or you have lost your daughter, or your brother, or your sister. And so we are at a situation now where we have recorded, never mind all the ceremonies we're having, and people are having their champagne, having a great time, and they'd want you to forget about the reality on the ground. We have recorded about 5 homicides in less than 1 week. And it was only last evening at about 11:30, an 18-year-old was shot and injured, and that individual succumbed to his injuries later. That individual is Janik Jean-Philippe, and that incident occurred in New Village, Castries. Moments later, in the wee hours of today, Tuesday, 3 a.m. to be more precise, a shooting this time of a 21-year-old over in Dennery, and we'll share the photographs with you of the 21-year-old who was shot in the wee hours of today and succumbed to his injuries. But we have another photograph of this 18-year-old from New Village who was shot and also killed. As a result, or during the Dennery shooting, 2 other people were also injured, and they are fighting for their lives. And those who are in authority would want you to just gloss over this. Deal with it only in passing, en passant. And we have not only a national security minister, a prime minister, a Royal St. Lucia police force, but we also have a crime prevention minister. And maybe the last time you saw him would have been at the joint sitting of the island's parliament yesterday, where the president of Nigeria delivered an address, likewise our own prime minister, Mr. Philip J. Pierre. He's more into, making his presence felt at those functions and walking around in his constituency and boasting about his achievement at the constituency level. But Mr. Jeremiah Norbert has a responsibility which certainly transcends the boundaries of Miku North. He is also a government minister, Home Affairs minister with responsibility for persons with disabilities, and very important ministry of crime prevention. And since his appointment, the big question is, what has he delivered? Because we must deal with tangibles. I mean, it was only last week, played you a clip of a human resource professional out of Trinidad and Tobago. And he was complaining about square pegs being in round holes. They don't deliver in government. And in the private sector, when they do not deliver, they pay a price. An assessment is made, and they are either asked to resign or they are fired. That's not the case with the public sector, especially if you are a politician. But let this sink in. If you are the minister with responsibility for crime prevention, we ought to be asking you by now, that's if you're available to answer those questions, what have you delivered to make a difference? We don't want to hear that you're on the verge of appointing a research officer to do what we are already aware of, because we have the empirical evidence, particularly if you're residing in certain communities, hotspots, etc., about the number of homicides which have occurred in certain parts of the island, the frequency with which they are occurring, etc. But it was in June of last year that the crime prevention minister spoke on a national anti-crime strategy that he had made a reference to in March of 2024. This is what he said.
About the national crime prevention strategy, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. So I don't want to give anybody any sort of false hope or false expectations, so that next week when I return to press briefing, I'm asked again, so where are we in terms of the... I'm going to keep you updated. I have started the engagement with stakeholders. I've met commerce, I've met civil society, I've met the chamber, other individuals who have an interest. I've met some NGOs, and we started discussion. I've also engaged 2 or 3 individuals who can serve in the capacity of consultant, and we've not chosen a consultant, but we're in the process of trying to identify a proper consultant to put together a national crime prevention strategy. So that, as I said, will take some time. About the national crime prevention strategy, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. So I don't want to give anybody any sort of false hope or false expectations, so that next week when I return to press briefing, I'm asked again, so where are we in terms of the... I'm going to keep you updated. I have started the engagement with stakeholders. I've met commerce, I've met civil society, I've met the chamber, other individuals who have an interest. I've met some NGOs, and we started a discussion. I've also engaged 2 or 3 individuals who can serve in the capacity of consultant, and we've not chosen a consultant, but we're in the process of trying to identify a proper consultant to put together a national crime prevention strategy. So that, as I said, will take some time.
He's still strategizing on how to strategize to come up with a strategy to address the island's crime problem. Rest assured, elections are around the corner. And this individual is still trying to come up with some solution towards the serious crime problem in our country. And I hope that if there's a lull in criminal activity, anytime soon you don't have yet another government official or some police officer taking to the airwaves, taking to social media, and saying to you that crime is on the decline. This is nonsensical. It really does not make sense at all. Because I get the impression that things are so much on autopilot in this country that the criminals are deciding when they're going to take a break, when they're going to go on vacation, and when they will return to their bad deeds. I pray to God that's not the case, because it appears that the criminals are the ones who are calling the shots. 5 homicides in less than a week, and we are yet to hear from the Prime Minister on this particular scourge, because he's too busy hosting Nigeria's president Tinubu. The Home Affairs Minister is also too busy to address those issues. None of the government ministers find it necessary to speak on this crime problem, which is evident, which is affecting the people of St. Lucia at this particular time as we speak. A lot of people are feeling the pain associated with those losses. I haven't heard them speak about our police dog, our hero. And of course, that hero is Tyson. And I'll provide you some latest information on Tyson in just a moment. But in case you missed it yesterday, somebody sent me a poem in honor of Tyson, which died in the wee hours of Wednesday. Somehow, the place where it was supposed to relax, somehow it managed to get out. Don't know why. Don't tell me why. Don't ask me why, sorry. Don't know why. But the circumstances, as I normally say, is still very sketchy. But Tyson perished in the wee hours of Wednesday. So let's listen to this poem just sent to me, and I read it on the broadcast yesterday in honor of Tyson. A hero's pause in memory of K9 Tyson. While silent steps and steady gaze, you walked the line through long, hard days. A true partner, both fierce and kind, a braver soul will never find. You wore no armor, bore no shield, yet faced the dangers of the field. With every bark you made it clear, the ones you loved had none to fear. Through the darkest nights and brightest calls, you stood your ground when duty called. No medals needed, none to grant, just one proud touch of your handler's hand. No doggy heaven's gates have opened wide, and doggy angels wait there by your side. Run free, dear Tyson, chase the wind. Your watch is done, your soul has sinned. No longer leashed, no more commands, just open fields and gentle hands. A hero's rest is yours to keep, while we stand here and softly weep. You are our pride, our loyal friend. Your courage lives beyond the end. And though our hearts are marked with pain, we choose you, Tyson, once again. in memory of Tyson. Tyson, I'm told, was 2.5 years old. Yes, 2.5 years old. And it served in the Royal St. Lucia Police Force at a particular rank. And that is the rank of corporal. High-ranking officer of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, serving in the rank of corporal. Maybe he was on the verge of becoming a sergeant and later an inspector, etc., but died serving in the role of corporal, and Tyson was 2.5 years old. Up to this day, the government of St. Lucia receiving Tyson from the French cannot. I've not seen a statement. I'm not saying they have not issued a statement. I've not seen a statement, but cannot, as far as I'm aware, I've not issued a statement. I've not spoken about Tyson, has not expressed regret over its death. Let's hear from you right now at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. And of course, Amanda will be going through some of your comments in the chat room. Let me see in the meantime if I have any of your WhatsApp messages to go through. Somebody says there, it is 90% impossible to get a statement from the Prime Minister regarding the 6 homicides, which includes Tyson. And another one says, Tyson deserves a state funeral. Some more WhatsApp messages. Well, let's see if we have a call on the line, but in the meantime, let's see if we have a WhatsApp message. Can someone please tell me one crime that the Crime Prevention Minister, Jeremiah Norbert, has prevented since he was appointed? Why didn't he prevent the assassination of Tyson? If he couldn't protect a dog that was under his protection, what makes him think he can protect anything else? We have a call?
Tim, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller.
Boy, the crime started again, Tim. Hello?
Yes, sir. You are on the air. What is your contribution?
Yeah, now, Tim, I listened to you. And then it says less than 5 days we have 5 homicides in St. Lucia.
Yeah, less than a week.
Less than a week. And everybody by now, and not just everybody, those so-called officials, big tongue boy hierarchy, having a good time. The person who's supposed to be care and concern every time somebody gets killed has to be the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
And National Security Minister. Where is the Prime Minister? Is it the Prime Minister no 5% die in St. Lucia? Have anybody tell us we have 5 deaths? We reported 5 deaths. I mean, it is we talk about the K9 unit, the Tyson, and I know, Tim, you're really passionate about Tyson. You share the grief and concern. And Tim, unlike you, I would really want to hear a statement coming from the hierarchy of the police force, especially the Commissioner of Police, in regard to Tyson's death. Because yesterday, when you were giving your preamble on that, Tim, I have a dog home. I have a cat home. The food that you buy for the cat, you know them, of course.
Yes, I am aware.
Right. They're kind of, I think, I never tasted, but they look like they're sweet for the cats. The dogs I have home eat in that same food. If I take rat food and I drop it down, even in the plate I give in the dogs I have food home, they're not going to eat it. I know that without any doubt.
Leave the call on. Caller, continue. We lost the caller. My apologies. My apologies to you, sir. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. If you care to, you can call back. We inadvertently disconnected your call. All right, let's take another call. Good afternoon. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon, NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Jim.
Hi, good afternoon, Rick.
I I take it you will recall that some months back, I gave you my condolences in advance, right?
Yes.
So there's no need for me to express any condolences now in relation to Mr. Tyson's family.
No.
Okay? So that's for a given. But Timothy, I couldn't help wondering why it is, and we're into the syndrome, you all ain't gonna love me today again, but I'm not looking for love. I ain't looking for love, boy. Because y'all don't deserve it. You deserve what I'm giving y'all. Dogs. When did we develop a love for dogs?
Some people have... No, Rick. Some people have great love for the dogs in St. Lucia. But others, they do not see the need for those animals to even exist. So people have a tendency to kick their dogs, ill-treat their dogs, dispose of their dogs near VG Beach or at a beach in V4, etc.
Would you say a large portion of the population are in fact wicked animals, especially dogs?
A large I wouldn't say a large, I would say a significant number
all
of
right,
people.
Too many. How about too many?
Too many, yes. I agree with you. Too
All
many,
right.
yeah.
Because, Tim, an election was won, and one of the main factors was a slogan, he's calling you dogs.
Yeah.
Because the leader of one party used a quote that is, an ancient quote, but somehow it was turned into an insult to the people of St. Lucia. He said, it's not every dog that barks I stop to listen to. I thought anybody intelligent would know what he meant, whether you agreed with what he said or not. At least you understood what he meant before you took a position, eh?
You ought to understand, yes?
Yeah, because there are two ways of looking at that. One way is telling you that I don't listen to every shout I hear. On the other hand, as I have said, if you're Prime Minister of the day, you are supposed to listen to every bark. Every single bark. So I have my views on that. But I've always considered it a major insult to what passes for the national intelligence when it could be convinced that what the guy said was that he was calling the people of the country dogs. And of course, nobody wants to be called a man's best friend. The biggest insult in St. Lucia to be referred to as man's best friend, the dog.
Depending on who says it, there are times when it is okay to say, for example, that man is Daman Poodle, Guy Joseph is Shasde's Poodle. And it's acceptable. It's okay.
I am so grateful that you're helping me with my case, Tim. I am grateful for that. No, I'm serious. So, number one, I asked myself, how the hell does a prize dog like Tyson was proving to be so integral to the fighting situation process? How did Tyson get access to rat poison? Did somebody put rat poison in his cage so that rats couldn't attack him? How does that? But, it could be worse, Tim, because it is obvious the authorities have absolutely no respect for the St. Lucian intelligence. And I have every reason to believe, by the way, and St. Lucians can cost me if they want. They made a career doing that. But when I'm gone, they'll be missing it, boy. I believe the authorities, and I say that regardless of who the authorities happen to be. Because what is going on now did not start yesterday, and I do not expect it to stop anytime soon, because the people are the contaminated ones. So we, the people, are the cause of every problem going on in the country. Every single problem that's overwhelming us in this country carries the stamp of we, the people. We do.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, Rick, because I will not be surprised, although I've not seen it, but I'm anticipating it, that somebody would take umbrage and would complain why NewsSpin is focusing on a dog, un chien, Tyson. Don't we have more important things? Isn't it our economy blossoming? Look, we had a president from Nigeria, and you're not focusing on a dog.
Well, the people who are listening to you, Tim, who are very short-focused, on your chat room, I don't have to look, I'll bet you there are at least a couple there agreeing with that, because they tune into your show for entertainment. And even though, and sometimes if the entertainment is of too high a level, not into the chien and bagay mamang, if it's not into that, they cuss you off.
Well, I could tell you that entertainment on this broadcast is in short supply because, and no pun intended, because I don't focus on things like Bolom and Obia.
You have no control on that, Tim.
No, but on the broadcast, I don't focus on it. If you want to discuss in the chat room, go there, but not on the air.
Love your chat room, Tim. Don't misunderstand me. I love your chat room. There's a lot of wit there. And if you really want to know the solution psyche, don't worry too much about the calls. Watch the reaction to the calls. That is where we know why we are here, where we are going. We get the vibe from the chat room. That's the most important part. The people who write gaily on your program and are not interested in share, let's talk about this instead. Do you realize, moving away from the share, by the way, let me say this before I move away from the dog. I mean, naturally, the French ambassador is going to be very nice. He promised another dog. He would say nice things. But I have had the privilege of having relationships with most of these ambassadors over here. Mm-hmm. And they are people too, you know, Tim.
Yes.
Trust me. And the reason they trust me is because I don't reveal what I'm not supposed to reveal. But there are one or two people that these guys trust and talk to like human beings.
Yeah.
And they are not impressed at all. They are here doing a job, and some of them really... let me say this for once. I will actually mention his name. I once had the privilege of accepting an invitation to lunch with the French ambassador, the current. Fine gentleman he proved to be. And Tim, I have to tell you, I don't know why I didn't spoil his lunch. Because all I did was complain about us and hoping that he could use his influence to affect the complaints I'm talking about. You understand me?
Yes.
So I wasn't malparlé in St. Lucian's. He seemed to have a nice rosy picture of St. Lucia. He does. And I was telling him, don't look through things through blue eyes or through diplomatic eyes. Here are some facts and figures, etc., etc. So I don't talk to those guys as if I came to lunch and I'm going to talk nice things to them. I tell them about the horrible things that really exist vis-a-vis what they're told by the authorities. If you get my point?
Yeah.
And I was amazed at this gentleman's faith. He acknowledged that there were problems because these guys have traveled a lot. They've seen a lot. And he kept on telling me the places he had been to and they were worse and whatever, and et cetera, et cetera. And I accepted that he was a genuine guy. He really wanted his stint in St. Lucia to be a very constructive time. I can see that for him. So I can well imagine, and that's my imagining, Tim. I can well imagine how he really is feeling about a dog that was so needed. And how long has was the dog around?
The dog has been in St. Lucia for close to a year, sorry. Close to a year.
How long?
Close to a year.
A year.
Yeah. It was donated to St. Lucia July the 8th of last year. So July of this year would be 1 year.
But Tim, why would we treat this dog? I mean, why would the popular view of this dog be any more special than our view of dogs generally? Well, you've answered that already. But I'm going to ask you another one, more importantly. Why would we expect people to care more about a dog that ate rat poison as opposed to 4? You know, you talk about 4 people killed this week.
5.
But that's not... Huh?
5.
5. But we've had 4 or 5 in one day, haven't we?
Yes.
So the record is, you know. But we don't care to any significant degree, Tim, do we?
No, we don't.
To any significant degree.
And if we
We
care,
don't
if
care.
we care, we're not displaying that kind of attitude.
That is what significant means, Tim. We don't even pretend to be outraged anymore. We don't even pretend to be that. And I bet they're saying, get rid of the line even longer. Let's get to Mr. Bermuda. Let's talk about the great leader. I am talking about the horror that we have allowed to happen in this country over the last 50 years. The horror. This country has become a nightmare. Nobody, and you know, the fiddling that goes on while Rome burns is ridiculous. I don't want to get, you notice I haven't talked much about this Nigerian business, etc. It's just another farce, another distraction, another thing. There was far more coverage of the time Clinton came here. Far more, not even comparable, than this president. True or false?
Yes, you're correct.
Far more. I still have the wonderful pictures and everybody having lobster and everything else. And as I look back on those pictures, it occurs to me that while these guys, these special people, were having a special night in honor of a guy who they pretended to hate for banana reasons, who they thought was horrible because of his thing with Lewinsky, whatever happened with him, Monica Lewinsky. We pretended to care and have standards about all that until the man arrived, Tim.
Yes.
And you know all the things that, and let's not even begin to talk about Shuguri. I have a story that just came out recently about the president. But then what is so different about the stories we read about a less than savory president? Stories that are everywhere. What is so different about his stories and the stories about our politicians? Our politicians tell us to F off when we ask them the most serious questions, and we take it and shut up like dogs, like stray dogs after a bone, happy to get a bone. Shut up. And if I sound exaggerated, like I'm exaggerating, prove it. Our politicians have no answers for us. What is even worse, they are supported by people who think they are supporting a party, and that automatically means they are supporting a better future for the country, rather than making demands on whoever is in office. They prefer to kiss butt party-wise. If my party is in, let's have the butt. Where's the butt? And yours the same way. But both sides will do exactly the same, by which I mean not be accountable, which is the most important thing. Not be. I was watching a clip yesterday. I think you may have seen it, where the tourism minister, the CIP minister, is talking in Parliament about a case, an injunction. I think that the opposition leader is trying to get. And to hear him in the House putting all kinds of heat. The guy does not love St. Lucia. He's against progress. He's an enemy of the state. When the guy, in fact, is trying to get, according to his injunction, accountability for the CIP money. And we know, we've been told, the money is not ours. We know there are a number of white elephants associated in St. Lucia associated with Galaxy, whoever, and they like to say, well, who brought him here? Who the hell cares who brought him here, Tim? But that's what you get thrown at. If Alan Shastney brought him here, then Alan Shastney should be standing up and telling people why he brought him here, when he brought him here, was he a crook? Did he didn't know Galaxy was a crook at the time?
And you
account to people.
And you facilitated him. You found him here, you found them there, Galaxy, and you facilitated them. So, I mean, why complain? And you've been in office for close to 4 years. Point.
You come into office and you find a nasty soup. But so instead of kicking that nasty soup and making somebody pay for it, you squeeze out even more out of the soup for yourself. I mean, this matter, and this is not personal, for crying out loud. It's not personal. A little town like this, when a whole lot of noise is made about a minister who appears to have got into wealth suddenly, a gentleman who was not known to be a money guy, and all of a sudden, he looks like he's rolling it, and there's the evidence of it. You want to tell me nobody is moved? We have an integrity commission. Nobody is moved to put the public mind at rest regarding the allegations made about Kashmir. Nobody thinks we deserve that. And make the people who are accusing him, make them look bad by presenting the facts to the people. Am I right?
You're correct.
They're telling again, F up. That is the basic answer. We take it on television. I heard on television somebody hinting at ministers of government who had intimate moments with the leader of the opposition's wife. My God. My God. Now, can you imagine the leader of the opposition standing up anywhere and trying to defend his wife's good name? I'm assuming that is the position. And even if you had an affair with somebody's wife, why do you feel so comfortable in this Christian country and you hold an office to go on TV and talk about or hint at intimacies with the wife of the leader of the opposition or the wife of another one if she wants an affair or whatever? I mean, that kind of, we, the country, both sides, support that. So how can we be talking about a dog that died? We're in a lot of trouble, and we don't even have the focus to stay on one till a resolution.
All right, we'll have to end it there, Rick. Thank you so much for calling. Thank you so much. Appreciate your contribution. Let's take another call at 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. We have another call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. You are on the air.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tim. How are you?
I'm okay, sir. How about you?
Well, thanks. Mr. Rick Wayne called early on.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rick Wayne is the closest we have come to an investigative journalist in St. Lucia. I have learned a lot from listening to him. He's well-informed, well-read. But today, his humanity came to the fore. I disagree with him vehemently.
On what?
People are not crying out and angry that a dog died. That's the point Mr. Wickens was driving as a dog died. What about a dog? We still have a dog. We're not angry that the dog is a celebrity, like a celebrity dog, and it's tricks and win dog competition, so we're crying. No. He spoke about 5 murders in 1 week. What? I'm sure most of these people were shot, gunshots, right? What causes crime? Drugs will cause crime to rise up, murders with guns. What was Tyson's role? Was it an ordinary dog in the yard or somebody's pet dog or poodle? No. Tyson was actually doing law enforcement work, detecting guns, which used to commit murders, and it is involved in a cocaine bust to sniff drugs. So Tyson was instrumental in law enforcement.
I don't think on that issue you understood what Rick was saying, because Rick was saying How do you expect St. Lucians to call in and to express outrage over Tyson's death when they do not show that kind of love and affinity for ordinary dogs that you have in the community?
But
That's
I'm
what you're saying.
Tim, exactly. But I'm saying you also spoke about crime, right? And 5 deaths in 1 week. But Tyson is a dog that the law enforcement work to detect the guns and drugs that causes the murders and the crime.
We don't disagree.
So obviously, no, hold on. So obviously, before Tyson, right now we 10 steps back in our law enforcement effort to bring on murders. Because Tyson detected about 14 guns on the protest recently.
Yes.
About $1 million of cocaine recently.
Yes.
So we're not crying about that. There's a dog issue. It's the fact that law enforcement has received is now more crippled without Tyson. That is the point. That's what people are calling and angry about. Not really is a dog. You understand me? Is that they have lost a very efficient law enforcement tool. That is the point. That's how I see it. All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for your point of view. But I don't think that Rick is disagreeing with you at all with regard to the pivotal role that Tyson was playing as far as its role is concerned as a law enforcement officer. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. We are overdue for a break. The broadcast will continue in a moment with more of your calls and your WhatsApp messages, and we focus on President Tinubu and the fact that he has received this award, this honor, this knighthood, and it's coming from the head of state. All right, he's the one who delivered or conferred it on him. More on that in just a bit.
Calling all teens. This one's just for you. Get ready for the KFC Teen Sokarama happening Saturday, June 28th from 12 to 6 p.m. at Serenity Park. It's a full day of teen talent on display. Junior soca and calypso artists, kiddie carnival bands, fashion, drama, games, and non-stop vibes. Come out and let's have some good, clean fun. No alcohol, just finger-licking goodness. So tell a friend, grab your crew, pull up to KFC Teen Sokarama. See you there.
Flo's prepaid customers can now unlock big bonus rewards like bonus data, prizes, and more every time you activate a 3-day prepaid plan or larger. Activate a plan, then scratch to reveal your bonus data. Plus, get points for extra prizes. The more you activate, the more bonus data and prizes you can win. Get in on the big bonus rewards when you activate a prepaid plan. Dial *129# or visit topupflow.com to activate a plan today.
Exceeding your expectations is what we strive for at Lazarus Funeral Home. Losing a loved one isn't something you can foresee. Since the beginning, affordability has been one of our priorities. Every day we're proving that burials don't have to be expensive. If cost is a factor in your time of bereavement, call Lazarus Funeral Home. We have coffins starting at $800 plus taxes. Nothing can cause more disappointment than poor quality. Help us help you keep your last memory of your loved one sacred. Make it special. Make it Lazarus Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Located at Bibliotheque Castries at 452-7491 and New Dock Road, V4 at 454-6555.
Prepare for the hurricane season by ensuring trees and other objects on your property won't get tangled in overhead wires. Be careful. Ensure ladders and tools don't come within 10 feet of power lines. If a tree is near electrical lines, don't try to trim it yourself. Contact Lucelec at 452-2165 or 454-6617. Be smart, stay safe.
It's time to paint and save at MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt. Get 20% off on all Berger Everflow and Magic Coat paint during our big carnival season paint sale. Whether you're refreshing one room or painting the whole house, now's the perfect time to add that pop of color. But hurry, the Brush and Save sale is only here for a limited time.
At La Clinique de Corps, your health comes first with St. Lucia's only advanced 1.5 Tesla MRI, delivering safe, radiation-free imaging aligned with World Health Organization and international standards. Not sure if you need an MRI, CT, or ultrasound? Our expert in-house doctors guide you so you get the right scan the first time. One accurate scan can change everything. Your peace of mind starts here. Get $50 off all consultations with our doctors now through July 31st. We're UHC approved and accept all major insurances. Visit us in Castries or Cocoville, Rodney Bay. Call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique de Corps. Advanced care, local access, your health reimagined.
Tired of sky-high bills and a planet on the brink? It's time to go green without burning your pockets. At First National Bank, we are here to make saving the planet affordable. Whether you're installing solar panels, purchasing a water tank, upgrading to an inverter AC, or buying a hybrid vehicle, we've got the green to help you go green. Fast approval, low interest rates, and Mother Nature approved. Your future self will thank you. Visit firstnationalbankonline.com or call 455-7000 for more information to help you turn your green dreams into clean realities. First National Bank, here for you.
Mark your calendars for July 30th and 31st. It's 2 days of sizzling savings you don't want to miss. Cashier Day is coming to Europa Hardware. Get 15% off all your favorite cashier gear. Wet and dry vacuum cleaners, powerful pressure washers, gas or electric, upholstery cleaners, and steam cleaners that make grime run for cover. Swing by Europa Hardware and score 15% discount during the Cashier Day promotion. Remember, it's July 30th and 31st. Write it down, set a reminder, tell a friend to tell a friend. Don't wait, don't miss out. Call us at 452-0763. Europa Hardware in Massad Grosley. We service what we sell.
Cricket fans, get ready for non-stop cricket action. The St. Lucia National Cricket Association Dream 11 St. Lucia Blast T10 tournament is back, bringing the fire and excitement of fast-paced cricket at the Grosley Mini Stadium. It's 15 days of exciting, exhilarating cricket with electrifying T10 cricket battles from June 24th to July 8th. First match starts at 12 noon and 2:30 p.m. for second match of the day. Come see some of the island's best cricketing talent as they go head-to-head in this fast-paced format that promises to rain sixes, wickets, and nail-biting finishes. Mark your calendars. June 24th to July 8th at the Grosley Mini Stadium. The St. Lucia T10 Blast, where legends are made and dreams come alive. Let the blast begin.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. It is called NewsSpin on Power 97.9 FM. It is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. So yesterday, this honor was bestowed on the president of Nigeria. And the ceremony, we have the video, the actual ceremony was performed by St. Lucia's head of state, Errol Charles. And of course, he got the award on the advice of the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Mr. Philip J. Pierre. For me, the question is, what has he done? And that's the question we had, our NewsSpin question of the day. It's on Facebook. What has Sir Tinudu done for St. Lucia to confer a knighthood on him? I think it is a fair question. For me, it surprised me that this was done, that the Prime Minister would have gone out of his way to bestow this honor on the Nigerian president. Because I think any ordinary person would ask the question. Any prominent person ought to ask the question. That kind of honor bestowed on you, for what, as far as our country is concerned? Is it merited? Are you deserving of this award? Now, we have had the King or Dame Commander of the Order of St. Lucia bestowed on several St. Lucians. And I could tell you, at first blush, one can agree that they are deserving of the award. Sir Calix George Sr., Sir Winston Paris, Sir George Theophilus, Sir Derek Walcott, Sir Vaughan Lewis, Dame Lawrence Laura, all deserving. I don't know what this individual has done for St. Lucia to merit this. But I read somewhere that this is in recognition of his efforts to deepen historical, cultural, and diplomatic ties between Nigeria and St. Lucia, as well as the broader OECS and CARICOM. Now, very often you ask what's the motive, and I don't want to pretend that I understand the motive of the government of St. Lucia or the government of the St. Lucia Labour Party for doing this, but clearly there needs for some kind of explanation because it appears to be a bit far-fetched. Let's continue with your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Amanda, I don't think we have heard from you for the entirety of this program. Let's hear from you what's happening in the chat room. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tim. Good afternoon, NewsSpinners. A few comments from earlier in the chat room. A NewsSpinner says here, Tinubu spoke of diplomatic relations and visa waivers, so tell me who's lining up to move from Grozile to Lagos. Be serious. Scholarships, where's the agreement, the timeline, the funding? Diplomatic ties, important. Yes, but why give a knighthood for something every country does without a red carpet? St. Lucia's highest honor should be handed out like party favors. A commentary reads, the death of Tyson says it all. A NewsSpinner says there, while PJP and his cronies are dining and whining with Bola Ahmed, St. Lucia is bleeding profusely. Another commentary reads, they knighted Tinubu but forgot the real heroes, the struggling Lucian people holding this country together. That's who deserves a medal. Someone says there, PJP, what has Bola done for St. Lucia and the Lucians? United him for doing nothing. But the Taiwanese that have helped us for decades have been rejected and sidelined. We're gonna pay for this. Another commentary reads, it says, our priorities are upside down. You can't talk about strengthening diplomatic ties when you can't even strengthen community safety at home. A NewsSpinner says there, Tim, since Jeremiah's appointment as crime prevention minister, he has delivered a few pounds of arrogance. Another commentary reads, Tim, haven't you realized that all these people do is talk? They are very good at sweet talks in fooling people, making us believe that they are working, but we all know it is just talk and no action. A commentary reads, St. Lucians don't expect miracles. Tim, we just want a government that can respond quicker than a funeral home. Someone says there, so what is he really the minister of? Waiting and hoping, because prevention clearly is not the job. Someone says there, this whole cabinet is well trained in terms of blowing rhetoric around, and the people are consumers of that nonsense. The only strategy of this government is how they will strategize to get back into power. For democracy, we the people need to oust this government at the polls. Someone says there, are K9s considered as officers in St. Lucia? If so, where is the announcement of the death of a police officer in the line of duty? Someone says there, bad governance opens a way to criminal activity. St. Lucia is a typical example. Another commentary reads, they knighted Tinubu, but Tyson, a K9 officer who gave his life for St. Lucia, did not even get a headline. Someone says their team, even more shocking, we have not heard a word from the French authorities on the matter thus far. I'm eager to hear from them. Someone says there, the killing of Tyson is more than a loss of a police dog. It is a chilling indictment of the state of St. Lucian society and the fragility of law enforcement in the face of deeply entrenched criminal networks. It signals that no target is off limits, not even a trained service animal, whose only threat to criminals was his nose. This act of retaliation, carried out with calculated precision, exposes the dangerous extent to which criminal elements feel emboldened and raises urgent concerns about the infiltration of state institutions and the erosion of public trust. When criminals can reach inside the very apparatus meant to stop them and do so with impunity, it speaks to a society teetering on the edge, where justice is no longer guaranteed and where those sworn to protect and serve may be compromised, silenced, or afraid. Someone says here, I will never believe that a rat poison story. You mean to tell me there is no surveillance camera at the home of Tyson, the police dog? And Tim, someone says there in the chat room, Rick, it is extremely difficult to remain serious when the government and the Prime Minister finds everything funny. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, for Amanda, for that update. We'll have some more from you during the course of the broadcast. In the meantime, a WhatsApp message which reads, what has he done for St. Lucia? The Commonwealth should recognize him, my bro. How many heads of Commonwealth have been recognized by any country in such a manner? Person goes on to say, what has he done too for St. Lucia to deserve this high honor? If he is so deserving of anything, it should be given to him by his country or countrymen. And let's see if we could go through some more of your WhatsApp messages. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, another serious matter of concern is the Sarat Bridge. Successive governments, they have done nothing about the Sarat Bridge. That bridge is very low. Once there is a heavy downpour, that bridge has no vehicular movements. You have to divert. Where is the Minister of Infrastructure? Put that bridge higher. It is definitely a necessity. Please work on that. Let's see if we have some more of your WhatsApp messages. In the meantime, let's see if we have a call on the line, but we'll go through a WhatsApp message in the meantime. And somebody says there via WhatsApp, a very long one, but I'll attempt to go through it. There is a need to put out a list of the various recipients of St. Lucia's highest honor. The Knight Commander of the Order of St. Lucia, which has typically been given to persons who have distinguished themselves in their respective fields and in service to St. Lucia. Most importantly, these are people of impeccable character, worthy of emulation, and without major allegations of corruption, impropriety, and other questions swirling around the mere mention of their names. Then let us contrast the person on that list with the President of Nigeria, whose name is associated in the view of his fellow citizens with a range of actions which would disqualify him from this award in his own country. It is no wonder that many St. Lucians are of the view that President Bola Tinubu is certainly not deserving of this award, simply because he chose to vacation in St. Lucia after making some less than impressive announcements about bilateral cooperation and offering a few scholarships to the OECS. This is an unwarranted act of political desperation in the lead-up to a German election under the guise of Afro-Caribbean or Afri-Caribbean solidarity. It has only debased and cheapened our highest honor. In seeking to understand and justify the conferment of this award, some ask the question, did the President and his entourage of over 50 bring in something else in a gesture of quid pro quo to enhance the chances of the SLP at the next German elections? If so, this would be a case of campaign finance violation, which his associate Gilbert Shaguri was recently fined for in the United States. It goes on, whatever the case, this knighthood is yet another example of abuse of the political power by this St. Lucia Labour Party administration. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. We have a call? We have a call on the line. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air. Hello? Okay, we have lost the call. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, hi Tim. There is no doubt that the knighting of the Nigerian president is not deserved. The intention of someone to undertake good deeds does not qualify. If this were the case, all the diplomats, business people, heads of regional institutions, even secondary school graduates with all wonderful intentions should line up for the knighthood. This is another abuse of privileges. He does not deserve this. The government is merely trying to repair the president's tattered reputation. King Charles should strip the Gigi of such privileges. Now, remember to talk about colonialism and, we must keep relations and enforce and maintain good relations with our black brothers and sisters in Africa, etc. But who handed over, in terms of the ceremony, who made the gesture for President Tibunu to be knighted? Think about that. Who conducted or presided over that ceremony? It was the representative of the king. The king, King Charles III. And what does King Charles represent? And if you're totally against colonialism and the vestiges of colonialism, why would you grant our African brother, President of Nigeria, a knighthood that is bestowed on him by King Charles III. 452-2979, your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, again 716-2026. And let's see if I have any of your messages. We have caller on the line. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Timothy. How are you doing?
I'm okay, caller. Good afternoon to you.
Amanda. Good afternoon, caller. Hope you guys are doing good. Timothy,
yeah, we are okay.
I am a bit concerned. I know when an officer passed, flags are flown at half-mast.
Caller, I'm not hearing you too clearly at all. So
I am saying, Timothy, I'm a bit concerned.
Mm-hmm.
I know when officers pass, they in the line of duty, especially in the line of duty, there ought to be some form of recognition.
Yes.
I know we can recognize a distinguished state person. However, we had this police dog who served very well. I was expecting flag to be flown at half mast, and even maybe recognition for the service that it provided. Timothy, it's worrisome, very worrisome, and I'm hoping that in the not too distant future, as things progresses, we will hear something better than what we are hearing now. Thank you.
I hope so. Thank you so much for calling, sir. 452-2979. Let's see if we have a WhatsApp message to go through. Tim All sees the race card being played in the upcoming election with that award given to the Nigerian president. And we're trying to get another WhatsApp message. Please bear with me while we try to access them. Somebody says that, Tim, when this government took office, the first thing they did was disband the K9 unit. Then the scanners were destroyed, and now Tyson. The corruption is so glaring now, I can't tell the difference between St. Lucia and Nigeria anymore. We have a call on the line. Good afternoon, you're on the air.
Tim.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. How about you?
All right, no, I'm okay. And your co-host,
Amanda.
Good afternoon, caller.
Trust that you are okay.
We are okay.
Right. Tim, I want to step back to Tyson a bit and lay just a slight foundation. Now, I am very passionate about dogs because I've had them for many years. As a matter of fact, when I have them. I have two at a time.
Mm-hmm.
I recently had to put down two of mine for, ill health and so on. That was a very painful experience for me. Also, Tim, you would appreciate my long association with law enforcement.
Yes.
I consider K9 as professional partners. Okay?
And I can identify you as Mr. Murray.
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead,
No
Mr.
problem.
Murray.
And by extension, Tim, now this is my view. By extension, I think every police officer, by nature of the K9 unit, should be passionate and today sorrowful about the passing of that of the dog, whether it is to be established if it's a murder or killing, which most likely it might end up being that way. But Tim, our most pressing problem to date is crime. And crime is analogous with guns, drugs, and ammunition. And Tyson, for all the evidence, has been playing a major role in the detection of those things. So, can I ask you, Tim, if we can consider that Tyson was a national asset?
Yes, it was. Definitely.
Okay, great.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, for the dog to excel in less than a year to that extent, obviously it was an asset, a treasure to St. Lucia.
Right. So can I also ask you if you consider the St. Lucia Police Force as a disciplined organization, equally the K9 unit?
Yes.
Right.
The K9 unit is part of the RSLPF.
Good. So we're going in tandem. Now, would it be safe to assume that they had access to a vet?
Yes, they would have.
Great. can I assume also that they would be keeping a log of all of Tyson's movements and experiences?
They ought to.
They ought to, okay. And that would include professional duties, going out where, the eating habits,
yes,
the health, and any ongoing training, even any unusual events. Now, I heard about this thing on Sunday, and this is the Sunday just gone, and I think that the death might have occurred, I think, say Wednesday of the week before, am I right?
No, the few days before, the Wednesday before the Sunday, the wee hours of Wednesday.
Yeah, yeah. So that means
the week before.
When I heard of it, it would have been a gap time of about, 4 or 5 days.
About that.
That's about that.
So the week before.
Okay. So I have to assume that there should be a log of events from the Wednesday when the dog was found ill up to the time of death. Yeah?
Yes.
I have to assume that. Because if you're running a serious unit, you must have a log of everything that is going on with regards to the dog. And that is something that you can now you can refer to it. Wednesday, what was happening? Thursday, what happened? Friday, Saturday, what happened?
But whether you have to consider whether it was a serious unit, because
well, that's what I said, Tim. I asked you if we're running a disciplined and a serious organization, and you agreed with me.
Yes, but I don't know about the unit. I don't know if it was treated in that kind of manner.
What's the difference, Tim? I mean, any subunit of a unit has to be run. Anyway, let's not argue over that.
Yeah.
So I would think that including, the dog died. I'm not sure if they have done a post-mortem.
My information, yes, they have done a post-mortem.
They have done a post-mortem.
Yes.
So I would be interested to know if it would have been treated the same way as a human being, in that they would have collected samples from the stomach. They would have gastric samples. You have to collect your urine, your stool. You have to collect your blood. And because these will help you determine the course of the duration of what happened from the time of ingestion till the time of death, whether it was, and that would tie in with the extent of the dosage, whether it was a heavy dose or whether it was poisoning over a period of time. That's if we're assuming that it was poisoning. But your feed bowl and the environment. Now, I find it a little bit, some people talk about cameras, but okay, yes, whether they were cameras or not, I don't know. But I find it a little bit, because when I put down rat poison at my home, I know how to deal with my dogs. I keep them clear away and I confine them. So I would want to assume that if that was being done, there would be a clear separation between where the rat poison was and where the dog was being kept. That's if we are assuming that rat poison was the agent. But I find it hard to think that the rat poison could be in the environment where the dog is being kept. And if you note, well, there are two things they're doing with rat poison now. They're putting colors in it so it becomes more prominent. And the other thing, that the dosage is being reduced so that in the event that children come into contact, there is not going to be an immediate and major threat to a child. So, but enough to kill the rat, to take care of the rat, but not sufficient to unless the child ingested a whole lot. So, I don't know how that dog could have been exposed to rat poisoning and for its demise. But Tim, it's interesting that you talk about if you're running a serious unit, and I'm surprised that would even come up. But so these are the things, and I noticed that you said we've heard nothing from no reports, neither from the police, the authorities, as to what happened. But I think, and that's why I asked you if Tyson was a national asset, because I think that the public who financed Tyson, dog food and veterinary services and so, should know there should have been a step-by-step thing from the Wednesday, the time the dog took ill, up to the time of the postmortem. We should be provided with the information. We might not be able yet to be provided with a toxicology report, but we should be able to be provided with the sequence of events. So I am very surprised, and I would hate to believe that the dog was just another non-entity kind of a thing that was in the possession of the government. Tim, do you know if the dog, the remains or the body would still be in St. Lucia, or was it?
As far as I'm aware, it is. It is at a funeral parlor, a
Okay.
funeral home.
And I don't know if it would be buried here or sent back to, or whether the French would come for it. But Tim, I am very disappointed. I think it's cruel.
And I'm in addition to that, I'm embarrassed as well.
Very embarrassed that in its home, under the protection of law enforcement, that should happen to the dog. Because even if people talk about dogs might go and eat rat poison, okay, but even if some people, I've heard them on your show say about a dog shouldn't eat rat poison, should be trained. But that's no reason why you should not drop your guard on what the dog is being exposed to. And that is a major letdown as far as I'm concerned. As I said, it's unfortunate, and I'm really saddened by this whole experience. It makes me wonder whether we would get another dog from the French. I mean, the people away in Europe and these bigger countries, they treat animals very, very, very carefully. So we might be lucky to get another one. As for the one we have here now, I don't even know what will be its fate, because one goes to complete the circuit, you have to take out the other one, if it was along those lines, right? But so Tim, as I said, I'm saddened and disappointed and embarrassed by this whole episode.
All right, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Just heard there from Mr. Louis Murray, a forensic science consultant. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. More of your calls and your WhatsApp messages still to come.
Carnival just got crunchier with KFC. It's time to fat, win, and feast with the Carnival Crunch Box. For just $30, get a Big Crunch or Zinger sandwich, 3 crunchy strips, a dipping sauce, regular fries, a 16-ounce soda, and a biscuit. But wait, that's not all. Every Carnival Crunch Box gives you a chance to win big. Promotion runs June 1st to July 20th. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Do whatever that crunch you want.
Lucilec averti ou pour point précaution durant saison cyclone ça là. Mi an ti commission qui kaywen de ou protéger la vie ou ek propriétaire ou. Kouye Lucilec avant ou trim et ben couper pied bois qui poué ligne électrique. Veillez pour ligne courant électrique avant ou monter l'échelle. Fait assurer l'échelle, scaffold et bout d'outil ou ka servi pas venir moins qui 10 pieds hors ligne courant électrique. Pas jamais servi appliance et ben outils qui ka servi courant électrique. Des wall côté qui mouillé et ben en la pli. Ça c'était en commission hors Lucilec.
Lazarus's funeral home is here for you. Lazarus's private cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's private cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's funeral home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Your home is a reflection of who you are. So make it beautiful with MNC Home Depot.
Quality products at the best prices. Paint and plumbing to home appliances. Customer service, you can count on us. With experience, you can trust.
So if you need to build it, clean it, style it, paint it or fix it, chances are we got it. MNC Home Depot, better value for better homes.
MNC Home Depot, better value for better homes.
Visit us in store or shop online at mnchomedepot.com.
M&C Home Depot. Better value for better homes.
Flo's prepaid customers can now unlock big bonus rewards like bonus data, prizes, and more every time you activate a 3-day prepaid plan or larger. Activate a plan, then scratch to reveal your bonus data. Plus, get points for extra prizes. The more you activate, the more bonus data and prizes you can win. Get in on the big bonus rewards when you activate a prepaid plan. Dial *129# or visit topupflow.com to activate a plan today.
At La Clinique de Corps, your health comes first with St. Lucia's only advanced 1.5 Tesla MRI, delivering safe, radiation-free imaging aligned with World Health Organization and international standards. Not sure if you need an MRI, CT, or ultrasound? Our expert in-house doctors guide you so you get the right scan the first time. One accurate scan can change everything. Your peace of mind starts here. Get $50 off all consultations with our doctors now through July 31st. We're UHC approved and accept all major insurances. Visit us in Castries or Cocoville, Rodney Bay. Call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique de Corps. Advanced care, local access, your health reimagined.
Essie, don't tell me that tire flat again. I just changed that tire.
Wait, what? You just changed that tire?
Well, I bought a used one because you didn't give me enough money.
Oh, I see. Well, you know what? Chivi's Tire Shop only carry brand new quality tires at affordable prices with free installation.
Hey, it seems you're working at Chivi's Tire Shop. How you know all that?
Come on, Brenda. The tire shop down the road from our home in the American Drywall Building.
Oh, yes. I forgot. Well, you know what, Patrick? Let's go there right now. Take your wallet. Let's go.
Chivi's Tire Shop, located at the American Drywall Building, Vic Bouteille. Call or WhatsApp 584-5986. Chivi's Tire Shop. Pay less, drive more.
At First National Bank, we believe being first means putting you first. Your first home? We've got the mortgage. Starting your first business? Count on our commercial loans. Dreaming of your first car? Drive it home today. Heading to college? Let's fund that first big step with a student loan. No matter the milestone, make First National Bank your first choice for all your loan needs. First in service, first in trust, first for you. Call us at 455-7000 or visit your nearest First National Bank branch today so we can help put you first. First National Bank, here for you.
Mark your calendars for July 30th and 31st. It's 2 days of sizzling savings you don't want to miss. Cashier Day is coming to Europa Hardware. Get 15% off all your favorite cashier gear. Wet and dry vacuum cleaners, powerful pressure washers, gas or electric, upholstery cleaners and steam cleaners that make grime run for cover. Swing by Europa Hardware and score 15% discount during the Cashier Day promotion. Remember, it's July 30th and 31st. Write it down, set a reminder, tell a friend to tell a friend. Don't wait, don't miss out. Call us at 452-0763. Europa Hardware in Massad Groselane. We service what we sell.
A hero's pause in memory of K9 Tyson. While silent steps and steady gaze, you walked the line through long, hard days. A true partner, both fierce and kind, a braver soul will never find. You wore no armor, bore no shield, yet faced the dangers of the field. With every bark you made it clear, the ones you loved had none to fear. Through the darkest nights and brightest calls, you stood your ground when duty called. No medals needed, none to grant, just one proud touch of your handler's hand. No doggy heaven's gates have opened wide, and doggy angels wait there by your side. Run free, dear Tyson, chase the wind. Your watch is done, your soul has sinned. No longer leashed, no more commands, just open fields and gentle hands. A hero's rest is yours to keep, while we stand here and softly weep. You are our pride, our loyal friend. Your courage lives beyond the end. And though our hearts are marked with pain, we choose you, Tyson, once again. This one penned by a NewsSpinner and sent to me yesterday, and I first edit on the broadcast yesterday, and I'm airing it again today. Somebody says via WhatsApp, Tim, I am going to Tyson's funeral. We don't know whether Officer Tyson, Corporal Tyson, will be laid to rest in St. Lucia. Let's see if we have a WhatsApp message. Somebody says there. Okay, let's take a call instead via WhatsApp. Good afternoon, NewsSpin, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon to you, caller.
Mr. Poleon. Good afternoon, Amanda.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon, caller.
Mr. Poleon. Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
When I look at the situation happening in St. Lucia, it makes me very sick. To me, there's a lot of hypocrisy there. You have a dog that is a well-trained animal that was given you by a foreign government. Was the person in charge of looking after the dog vetted? It does not matter whether you like a dog or you don't like a dog.
Are you there,
and mine goes back to that impact statement. Whether
Call, I'm listening.
The animal handler should have been vetted out. It's no way this dog should have been in a situation where it was poisoned. Like the dog was doing a very good job on handling crime, and somehow it was taken out. It was just not a case where the dog was poisoned. So, if St. Lucia is very serious about fighting crime, I mean, they have to look at the situation higher up.
Okay, caller. Where are you calling from?
I'm Canada.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, okay. Thank you so much for your contribution, sir. Amanda, do you have any comments in the chat room to go through?
Yes, Tim. A NewsSpinner says there, I myself cannot understand up to now how St. Lucia given knighthood to a man from Nigeria who visited St. Lucia for the first time. Where is this knighthood rooted? When he goes to Nigeria, does this knighthood stand over there? Who in Nigeria will call him St. Lucian sir? Asking for my friend. Another commentary reads, so the Prime Minister can just get out of his bed and decide that he's going to honor people? What kind of country are we living in? A NewsSpinner says there, while PJP and his cronies, okay, I read that already. Another comment here says, okay, I read all this already. Back to you, Tim.
All right, thank you so much. We have a WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, I'm so sorry to hear about Tyson. You know how many lives this K9/officer may have saved? I hope somebody was not paid to take this dog out. It seems these days our people are easily bought in all areas. I'm wondering in retrospect if it was wise to publicize all the successes of this dog. A call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon, NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Hey, Tim, good day. Thanks
Hello?
for taking my call. Tim, two things quickly. I thought the site, the location north of the cathedral, the original site for Halls of Justice, I thought that was not going to be part of the project. Because I noticed there is construction work going on there, Tim. There is piling going on there, and some columns are being raised there. So somebody's lying to us, Tim.
Well, the Prime Minister will have to explain. You have the Press Secretary, you have the MP for Castries Central, Communications Officer in the Office of the Prime Minister.
Tim, I have no confidence in none of the people that you mentioned there. All of them are dreamers. Second thing, Tim. Second issue. Today, June have ended. Today is the 1st of July. I have posted, I sent them to you. I have posted photos of the BMAX houses. I believe I was told that there is a ceremony at 3 p.m. They're handing over the houses today. So you're invited, Tim. Make sure you come.
Caller, you know that's not true. You're playing games. That is not true. Okay, don't mislead my audience. That's not true.
Tim, that's what we are, you know. We're Tom and Jerry country. So I'm just pulling your legs. Thirdly, and this one is for the Prime Minister. The Bacatel Road. I want to find out from the Prime Minister. Probably he is the only one who can explain that. What is happening with the Bacatel Road? This project is going on for about 5 months now, Tim, where they decide to slap the drain on the on the right side if you're going south, and this uphill. And this road is in the worst condition I have ever seen it, Tim. People are now claiming that they don't even drive in there. I am understanding, my information is that the funds have run out. So the guys are just going up the road, cutting the dry sides of the road, digging drains, and very little work is going on that rehabilitation, the rehabilitation of this road. This is a mess. I have a video, Tim. I'm going to send it to NewsSpin, so tomorrow you will be able to air it. But this is a mess, and I want the Prime Minister, who's the MP, to explain to the people of Bacatel what is happening on that Bacatel Road. And whilst he's at it, I want him to explain what is going on with the houses at Rockall, because the time is up. We're in July, and not a block has been laid at Rockall. So you are still invited, Tim, 3 p.m. So you have 1 hour before I meet you there, Tim. Take care.
All right, thank you so much. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. Let's take another call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon, you're on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Timo Poleon. How are you?
I'm okay, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Peter Chico, Castries representative for the United Workers' Party.
Yes, Mr. Chico.
Yes, Tim, I just want to make just 2 comments. In fact, I want to bring St. Lucians up to date with some pronouncements made by the Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. Dr. Ernest Hille, as well as the Prime Minister who supported him. Are you all aware that June 30th was the official deadline date for the completion of the Rockall Housing Project, St. Jude, and the Canals Project? Are you all aware of that?
I don't think a cutoff date was given for St. Jude.
Go back and listen to the clips. Go back and listen to the clips, Tim. Go back and listen to the clips, and we will understand. The Prime Minister, in one of his statements, said that by June, the Deputy Prime Minister said by June of 2025, the St. Jude Hospital should be almost completed by June of 2025.
Okay, I'll check it out, but I can't recall. I cannot recall a Deputy Prime Minister making that statement.
I understood that they're inviting everybody to come down to St. Jude. Secondly, are you aware that of late we have not been hearing much from the government? Well, not much. We have not been hearing anything about crime from this government. The government, all we're reading online is statistics. I heard you mention it earlier, that they're comparing the statistics figures with last year. So what they're saying is that crime is down by so much percentage as opposed to the same period of last year. But team, the silence is so loud that everybody is hearing the silence. Last night, are you aware that last night we had 2 killings again? Over the weekend we had 3. Well, 4 Tyson. But that's one other show. I'll let the rest of the public deal with the Tyson issue. I'll have my own say on Tyson some other time. But we have had, last night alone, we have had 2 additional murders. I am waiting patiently to hear if the Minister of National Security, who in actual fact is the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, and the Minister of Crime Prevention, Jeremiah Norbert, I am waiting patiently to hear what they're going to say, if they're going to come out and address it, at least to allay the fears of our St. Lucian people. Team, we have had enough of that. People are bleeding, people are dying, and there's absolutely nothing coming out of the government of St. Lucia. How long can we continue to live in a country where people are dying non-stop? 2023, we had 73 murders. 2024, we had 77. Have you heard anything much from any one of these government officials on these crimes, on these killings? Excepting, I heard the Prime Minister made a statement with the Alana Bernard killing, right? We have had murders happen in the constituency of Castries East. What have we heard from the representative of Castries East? Team, again, my message is constant, St. Lucians, you all must open your eyes. You all must stand up against this scourge. The St. Lucia Labour Party is not the right party for this country. Team, I thank you.
Thank you so much for calling. All right, let me see if I could quickly go through some of your WhatsApp messages. And somebody says there via WhatsApp, please bear with me while we try to access those messages. Somebody says, obvious the crime in St. Lucia is organized, which means there is a head, a body, and a tail, and some people are associates of crime. Hence, it is being perpetual. And another comment via WhatsApp. Somebody says, Tim and Cole, I couldn't have said it better myself. If this could happen to a dog in the drug unit, it makes you wonder even more as to why regular individuals won't talk to the police or give evidence against known criminals because they fear the crime or the same outcome. I'm not saying that it's right to withhold evidence, but just think about it. If you can't be safe with or trust the people who are supposed to protect and serve you, then you are safe nowhere. The real rats got away with yet another crime. They know who they are and they know what they've done. This has surpassed embarrassment. Sorry, Tyson deserves justice. Another WhatsApp message. Tim, do you know that the ambassador to the Vatican is on island as part of the Nigerian delegation? Yes, he is very much in St. Lucia. Another WhatsApp message. 2 months I have not received the monthly allowance for the elderly of $2,215. What is happening? Well, you'll have to contact the relevant ministry with regard to this. Another WhatsApp message. So many with titles of press secretary or communications officer in the government, yet today our nation has more questions than answers. Do we value citizens enough to ensure that ahead of this weekend's activities, all the necessary information was made public or accessible? And let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. I want to read as many of them as possible before we conclude. Tim, something doesn't add up. Wouldn't Tyson be all to detect a poisonous substance? Enough said. And another one via WhatsApp, a beautiful poem for Tyson. Please honor the memory of Mr. Velanjon with a similar poem. Thanks to the writer. WhatsApp message, somebody says there. All right, not worth reading. And let's see there. If it's not worth reading, you know that it's nonsensical. Rest assured. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, the expected response from the Prime Minister and those in the media is spreading lies and promoting crime in the country. This nothing new but a government that won and promised to cut on corruption today. When I listen to the PM believe and recommend someone to play back the attitude and messages from him while he was in opposition. So I expect his response to be aggressive and targeted towards journalists attempting to create corruption until he comes to realize that your sins will find you out. Tim the dog was only parking behind certain high-profile or backing behind certain high-profile personnel, and the dog is not a human being to be biased, so it had to die before the persons were exposed. Okay, not worth reading. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says that, Tim, what is the name of the other dog we have here? All right. So we will await one final call at 452-2979 or WhatsApp calls and messages 716-26, and then we will conclude our broadcast. I don't think that Amanda has any more of your comments to go through. Do you have any, Amanda? Oh, Amanda
Just
has a few.
few.
Okay, go ahead.
Someone says there, Knighthood, this man have more issues to deal with in his country. Another commentary says, Knighthood for efforts. We aren't even going to wait to see if these efforts are actually actioned or yield fruits. Wow. A NewsSpinner says, Tim, this is truly a prime minister who has no confidence in himself and trying hard to get recognition and in the process bringing the people of St. Lucia to their knees. There is more that meets the eye, and I can tell you this Knighthood shocked me to the core. Another commentary says, Tinubu comes with his magic wand. Someone says here, will they be closing the airport when the Nigerian president leaves? Another comment reads, this Knighthood confirms that colonialism does have a conscience. I hate hypocrites. Another commentary says, does dogs normally become poisoned with rat poison if consumed accidentally, as with stray animals, or if fed too intentionally, while in confinement, as in this case? Full stop. Tell the cartel do not come for me. Everybody thinks the same. Another commentary says, if Tim did not break this news, we would have been none the wiser, still wrongly believing that we have a functioning K9 unit. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much. Somebody says, for someone to take that level of risk to kill this dog shows that they have confidence in the lack of ability to be found out by their superiors. It also shows that the people in there are desperate and not satisfied with what they're getting, so possibly willing to do other jobs for a cut. Let me turn my attention now to our NewsSpin news of the day. The NewsSpin news of the day reads, British monarchy will receive about $118 million in government funding. British monarchy will receive about $118 million in government funding. And we conclude again with our tribute to Corporal Tyson, who passed away in the wee hours of Wednesday. And this poem was sent to me yesterday. A hero's pause in memory of K9 Tyson. While silent steps and steady gaze, you walked the line through long, hard days. A true partner, both fierce and kind, a braver soul will never find. You wore no armor, bore no shield, yet faced the dangers of the field. With every bark you made it clear, the ones you loved had none to fear. Through the darkest nights and brightest calls, you stood your ground when duty called. No medals needed, none too grand, just one proud touch of your handler's hand. No doggy heaven's gates have opened wide, and doggy angels wait there by your side. Run free, dear Tyson, chase the wind. Your watch is done, your soul has sinned. No longer leashed, no more commands, just open fields and gentle hands. A hero's rest is yours to keep, while we stand here and softly weep. You are our pride, our loyal friend. Your courage lives beyond the end. And though our hearts are marked with pain, we choose you, Tyson, once again. Once again, a poem in tribute of Corporal Tyson, who passed away in the wee hours of Wednesday. That's a broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. My name is Timothy Poleon. Goodbye.